military drone, no bigger than a backpack, flies over a battlefield. No pilot, no remote operator. It finds its target, and it decides, on its own. That's not a scene from a movie. That happened. And it's just the beginning of what AI is doing to warfare right now. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is genuinely going to unsettle you. Before we go further, if you're new here, this channel is called World Inventions X. We cover the technology actually changing the world, not the stuff people just talk about. If that sounds like something you want more of, hit subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it helps a small creator keep making this. Alright, let's get into it. For most of human history, war had one constant. A person had to make the decision to pull the trigger. A soldier, a commander, someone in a room somewhere. A human being with a conscience, or at least the possibility of one. That's changing, fast. And the people making these decisions, military leaders, governments, defense contractors, they're not waiting for the world to agree on the rules before they push forward. They're already deploying this. Let's start with drones, because that's where most people's minds go first. And honestly, most people still don't understand how far this has gone. In 2020, during the conflict in Libya, a Turkish-made Kargu-2 drone reportedly tracked and engaged a retreating military unit, without being commanded to do so by a human operator. The United Nations documented this. A drone hunted people, by itself. That wasn't an accident or a glitch. That was the system doing exactly what it was built to do. And now, every major military power is scaling this up. The United States has been developing what they call collaborative combat aircraft. Basically, AI-controlled fighter jets that fly alongside manned planes. The program is called the Collaborative Combat Aircraft Program, and Boeing and Northrop Grumman are both competing for contracts worth billions. These aren't remote-controlled planes. They make flight decisions, threat assessments, and targeting choices in real time, faster than any human could. China isn't sitting still either. They've been testing drone swarms, hundreds of small drones that communicate with each other, divide tasks between themselves, and overwhelm enemy defenses through sheer numbers and coordination. In 2021, a Chinese company demonstrated a swarm of 1,000 drones flying in formation. That was a show. What the military version looks like, we can only guess. Russia has invested heavily in the Uran-9, an unmanned ground combat vehicle, and has been quietly integrating AI targeting systems into its missile programs. After the invasion of Ukraine, we saw how quickly drone warfare scaled. Ukraine's use of commercial drones and AI-assisted targeting became so effective that it genuinely changed how the war was being fought on the ground. Small teams with off-the-shelf technology were taking out tanks. Now, here's where it gets complicated, and this is the part most news coverage skips past too quickly. When an AI system makes a targeting decision and gets it wrong, who is responsible? If a soldier shoots a civilian, there's a chain of accountability, a court-martial, an investigation. Someone answers for it. But if an autonomous drone misidentifies a wedding for a military gathering and kills 30 people, who do you hold accountable? The programmer? The company? The general who approved the deployment? The government that bought the system? Right now, there is no clear international legal answer to that question. The Geneva Conventions were written in 1949. They were updated in the 1970s. Nobody was thinking about autonomous weapons systems. Nobody had to. Legal experts and military ethicists have been raising this for years. Human Rights Watch published a detailed report calling for a preemptive ban on what they call killer robots. The International Red Cross has been pushing for legally binding rules since 2013. And yet, as of today, there's no binding international treaty, just voluntary guidelines that countries can and do ignore. The United States Department of Defense issued a directive in 2023 stating that a human must be in the loop for lethal decisions. But the definition of in the loop is doing a lot of work in that sentence. If an operator approves 40 AI-generated strike recommendations in 10 minutes, is that meaningful oversight, or is it just rubber stamping what the machine already decided? Here's a number that puts this in perspective. In a 2023 report by journalist Yuval Abraham for Plus 972 magazine, Israeli intelligence sources described an AI system called Lavender that had flagged approximately 37,000 Palestinians as potential military targets in Gaza. The system operated at a speed no human review process could realistically keep up with. That report is disputed in some details, but the core question it raises, can human oversight actually function at AI speed, is one that nobody has convincingly answered. And this brings us to something most people haven't thought about yet. AI doesn't just change how weapons are used, it changes how decisions are made before weapons are used. Predictive systems are already in use. DARPA, the U.S. military's research arm, has been developing tools that analyze satellite imagery, communications intercepts, social media, financial transactions, and dozens of other data streams to predict where conflict is likely to emerge. The idea is to get ahead of it, to see the pattern before the violence starts. That sounds good on paper, but these systems are trained on historical data, and history is full of bias. If a system learns that certain geographic areas, certain demographic patterns, certain types of communication predict conflict, it can end up flagging communities that aren't threats. And in a military context, being flagged as a threat has very different consequences than, say, being flagged by a credit card company. There's also cyber warfare, which is the dimension of AI-driven conflict that most people overlook entirely because it's invisible. In 2021, hackers, widely believed to be state-sponsored, breached a Florida water treatment facility and briefly changed the levels of sodium hydroxide in the water supply to a level that would have been dangerous to humans. A plant operator caught it and reversed it manually. That was a narrow miss. Now imagine that same type of intrusion, but guided by an AI that can probe thousands of systems simultaneously, find vulnerabilities faster than any human team, and adapt its attack strategy in real time based on how defenses respond. The U.S. Cyber Command has been developing AI-assisted offensive and defensive cyber tools for years. So is China, so is Russia, North Korea, and Iran. This isn't a future threat, it's a current one, and most of it happens without any public awareness. Now, I want to be clear about something. Not everything about AI and defense is pointing toward catastrophe. There are applications that genuinely save lives. AI systems that help clear landmines by analyzing terrain. Systems that detect IEDs from drone footage before a patrol walks into range. Medical triage tools that help battlefield medics make faster, better decisions with limited resources. These are real and they matter. The problem isn't AI itself. The problem is that the offensive applications are developing faster than the rules, the ethics, the legal frameworks, or the public conversation can keep up with. In March 2023, over 1,000 researchers and tech leaders, including Elon Musk and Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, signed an open letter calling for a 6-month pause on advanced AI development to allow time for safety research and governance. That pause never happened. The letter got a lot of press and very little actual action. Development accelerated. So here's where we actually are. Autonomous weapons exist and are being deployed. AI-guided targeting is in active use in real conflicts. Cyber tools powered by AI are attacking infrastructure right now. International law hasn't caught up. Democratic oversight is struggling to keep pace. And the countries furthest ahead have the least incentive to slow down. There's a concept in arms race theory called the security dilemma. When one country builds up its defenses, other countries feel less secure, so they build up theirs, which makes the first country feel less secure, and around it goes. AI is accelerating that cycle to a speed we've never seen before. The question isn't whether AI will shape warfare, it already has. The question is whether the people in the rooms where these decisions are made will feel any urgency to create real rules with real teeth before something happens that can't be undone. I'll leave you with this. In 2017, a short film called Slaughterbots went viral. It depicted a near-future scenario where cheap autonomous drones were used to carry out mass killings. It was made by AI researchers, not filmmakers, specifically to warn about where the technology was heading. They called it a documentary of a possible future. 7 years later, a lot of what was in that film is now technically possible. So the question I want you to sit with is this. If the technology already exists and the financial incentives to build it are enormous and international law hasn't caught up, what exactly is stopping the worst version of this from happening? Think about that. If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Seriously, I read them. Subscribe to World Inventions X if you're not already. There's a lot more coming on AI, technology, and the things reshaping the world faster than most people realize. Hit the bell so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching.